If you're green, you grow. If you're ripe, you'll rot. AA. What a wealth of information. Remain teachable. Remain green. Remain willing to change. You either change or you die. We have seen it in the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous for the drinker who would not stop drinking. And we see it in Mother Nature. You either change or you die. You evolve to exist in your environment. You must, or you'll die. Have you ever heard the term pleaching? P-L-E-A, pleaching? It's when you start to do some funky work with Mother Nature. You start flirting with Mother Nature. Now, we're not talking anything laboratory evil. We're talking real world, in your garden, in your backyard. Okay? Something all of us can do if we have a garden and a backyard. Well, you would need a backyard to have a garden. Okay, if you had a backyard. You can do this yourself. You can play God. No, you can. You can play God. Which only strengthens my argument of the unseen guiding hand of the universe. That's a John word. It means universe, but you probably figured that out. But I call it universe when I'm feeling plucky. And I remember talking to, behind the scenes, some content creators. These would be more of the secular world. Content creators such as Simon Dan. Very good show. I would suggest you watch that. Simon Dan. He has a nice channel on YouTube. I believe him to be a good man. Very young. He's young yet, but he's a good man in the making. The same can be said for Professor Dave. Both of these men, well, the first one's a limey, okay? So you know how I feel about limeys. I'm constantly either smoking you or bailing your ass out, okay? Do I need to mention like WW1? Okay, we'll just stop there. The bastard child comes home because I know the fount of civility and from where it comes, the empire. There, I've said it. The United Kingdom brought civility to the world in our modern times. They also brought a lot of greed. Can I say Saxony? Oh, those white men. You gotta love them. Lying sacks of shit we are, boy. Everywhere we go. Hey, might makes right. That's just a fact of life. And if you don't like it, I get it. I don't necessarily like it either, but that's a fact of life. Might makes right. That's for you utopians out there. You know, the lamb and the lion laying down together. Yeah, that whole line. I digress. So I'm talking to, well, the only thing I had to say to Simon Dan personally through Messenger was the damn coffee cup that I just bought with your stupid insignia on it. I didn't even get it for it and dropped it and it broke shit. And it was like an $18 mug. This guy, Simon Dan, he texted me back. He goes, give me your address. I'll send you another one. I was like, no, I'd rather mope with my broken handle on my Simon Dan mug. I don't even think it survived that. It hit the quartz countertop just right. I want to say the whole thing sheared down its side. My coffee mug, yeah. Oh, good tempering there on the ceramics there, Limey. Who'd you jobber out for that? There, I said it. I ain't afraid of Simon Dan. I am kind of afraid of Professor Dave, though. A little bit. Again, like Pauligio. Only he's coming from a very different angle. Excuse me. He's coming from a different angle. Yes, I editorialize. There's the ego and my affinity for God. Yes. You can stop putting so much stuff into my head. Sheesh. Anyway, I'm watching this guy, Professor Dave, and I see him, and I don't know why he placates. I don't know why he did it. I really don't know. Kent Hovind is one rung above. No, he's not one rung above anything. He's a snake oil salesman. So why this tenured, I have to assume Professor Dave, he seems like a very learned man in maths. That was for you, Limey. In maths. I did not say STEM. STEM. It takes a village. A new math. Oh, just go away with all of it. I'm reluctant to change. I'm a curmudgeon. So, both of these men that I've just described to you are very powerful in maths. It is my belief by watching them. So, I don't know why Professor Dave wastes his life debating this charlatan, this piece of shit. Fuck you, Ken Hovind. You piece of shit. Snake oil salesman. Yeah, I'd like to whack-a-mole with you one time. You get that hammer going like a gavel, like a judge. Yes, you wield that, and then you whack a mole or whatever the hell. You whack a Christian with it. It's beautiful. Anyway, I said to Professor Dave in a messenger thingy when I was still on social media, a subroutine of the evil Zuckerberg, whatever. Boy, he's like Tony Robbins. He's like Tony Robbins on steroids. That's good. Facebook is insidious. The more you give in to it, the more it will take from you. And you will find that if you haven't experienced it already, you will get diminishing returns. It will take from you more than it gives. It's sad when you hear a lady say, Facebook is my social life. Quote, unquote. Kim was her name. Anyway, I digress. So I'm telling Professor Dave, I'm like, man, because he kept trying to pin this ass down on kind. I mean, when you have to bring somebody to the table and say, can we agree on the word kind in the text, in the format that we're using it here, and your opponent starts to skirt around that, well, then you should just drop your mic and get up, walk away and say, this Skype session's done. Anyway, I said to Professor Dave, I said, look at Tangelo. Evolution, there it is. And it strengthens my argument. It was done by the hand of an unseen guiding hand. There it is. Evolution in our time, in front of our eyes. We took two things which were different and we combined them. Deliberately, by our own hand. It's not like a donkey gets the hots for a horse or whatever, however the hell that works. One sterile offspring, one is, I don't give a shit. Mule, donkey, whatever. Well, here the hand of the unseen guiding hand has taken two fruits and evolved them into one, and apparently it still meets all of the criteria of life, even down to reproduction of its own kind. More Tangelos. Nope, not tangerines. Not whatever the other one is. Is it an orange tangerine and whatever the other one is. Tangelo. Now that is That is stupid. It's childish, the example that I offer. But it's still change. It's still new to the scene. And it is occurring in our time, in the last 400, 500 years, or whatever they probably older than that if we're hunter-gatherers. We started messing with stuff. You know, selective breeding. That pug looks nothing like that St. Bernard. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, why do you go to these AKA, American Kennel Association? And they have these classes of dogs, and guess what? They're all the same dog. Pretty much. God, pretty much. Okay, no, are they all Alaskan dire wolves? Do they all come from that particular? I don't know. But they're all canines. Look at the varieties. Look at the differences in them. Look at the artificial differences in them that have been created by a guiding hand. There, Professor Dave. The next time you get to have to pin somebody down on kind, just say fucking Tangela. Be done with it. It's so much easier. I do that for you because I love you, my fellow brother. My fellow brother as opposed to my alien from another planet, mother, brother. Okay, so that's for you, Professor Dave. I reaffirm that point that I made to you. Because I believe it's a nice tool to put in your tool chest, I think, for your dais, your position, your argument. Did you know that you can ice skate on the surface of the sun? Yep. Well, everything, you know, Caterus Paribus. My econ teacher, Alan, dear Alan, I think I told you about it. He used to call it Cedarus Paribus, and I had to correct him one day. Not in front of the others. Now, I'm an old man in the government taking, you know, and these other kids, they're calling, oh, Tina, okay? They'll go off the side. I said, it's Caterus Paribus, sir. You gotta be careful when you're correcting your professor. You gotta be careful. I did that one time, and he tried to give me a C. Yeah, summer class. Don't take summer classes. Oh my golly, and I had to corner the young man. And I said, no. Look at the numbers. That's a B. I want my B. He changed it. Personalities. Can I be a little Can I be a little overbearing? Can I make a professor of a class feel like they're really not in control of their class? I guess that's possible. As I'm able to put questions to him that are well beyond the other students' abilities. Fair questions, though. Economics questions, because it was the economics class. Okay, I digress. Yeah, you can ice skate on the surface of the sun. I didn't know if you knew that or not. I'm here to tell you. You don't need, like, special ice skates. Well, you do kind of. You wouldn't want the blades to be made of, like steel. Because that won't hold up. Nope. It'll melt steel, yeah. But you can still ice skate on the surface of the sun if you have the right blades on your booties. You can ice skate in the corona. There's no way in hell. That's like almost 2 million degrees. And you ain't ice skating in the basement down where the coal box is and they're throwing coal in there. Because that's like 28 million degrees. Fahrenheit. Well, does it really matter? I can throw Kelvin. Does it really? No. It's hot. It's really, really, really hot compared to the surface of the sun. You could ice skate on the surface of the sun. It's only 6,000 degrees. It's nothing. It's a mild spring day. With enough cold to keep the sun frozen, beneath your non-steel booty skates. Why am I belaboring this and being such an ass about it? Here's why. Because sometimes you need to be spoken to like that. I'm speaking to everybody right now, including my little selfie. Always my little selfie. The issue is fusion. We know how to do fission, unfortunately. The issue is fusion. In a nutshell, if we can master fusion, we could provide unlimitless energy for everybody on the planet for peanuts. For peanuts. If we could master fusion. Now, I need all of you astrophysicists and all of you physicists, I need to channel my Stephen Hawking. Leonard Susskind, the professor I told you about in an earlier vignette, has got a hard-on for Stephen Hawking. Yeah, he does. I see the venom drip out of his mouth. It's so cute. Very learned professor. I've video attended some of his lectures. Yeah, they had a running thing. And I can almost guarantee you this. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that guy that fancied himself chasing, chasing Professor Hawking, Leonard Susskind, this learned tenured professor, I can guarantee you this. He felt no joy when Stephen Hawking died. Even though I'm sure he views Stephen Hawking as a worthy opponent, contemporary. It's a guy thing, okay? But I'm certain he took no joy in Stephen's death. Because the battle was over. And other things, obviously. Come on. Yeah. You see, there's this device called a tokamak. And I've touched on it over on Twitter, but I don't whore myself out for likes or subscribers, because that's not why I'm here. So I guess I only have 3 followers on Twitter, and the 3 followers probably aren't physicists, so yeah, there's that. That's probably not going to get shared. I get it. I'll try it over here again. You see, you're trying to create a device, a tokamak, to achieve an end result, fusion. But you're missing the big picture that's right in front of you. I'm speaking to the learned, the mathematicians, our leaders. We need these people. Because I'm sitting here talking all breathy like I have an answer. I don't, but I have a question. And my question is this, and I'll close on it. Why are you trying to emulate the sun and do it differently? Hoping to achieve the same result. You see, in your tokamak, there is no place in there for me to go skating. That's why I said to you in the Twitter post, think toroid and think singularity. It's getting really technical now. So most other people are going to leave. I'm hoping that a scientist will hear this, or a physicist especially, and it will get shared, because I believe this has been imparted to me. I don't have the answer, but I have the question. Why are you trying to make something happen, but you're not doing it the way you see it happening? You want to do it your way. You're not Frank Sinatra. That corona outside above you, where you're ice skating on the surface of the sun because it's so fucking cold. It's so fucking cold. It's so cold. Oh. Now go back to the toroid. Think of the singularity. Think of the area around the singularity. Now, think of that donut, that hot-ass donut flowing above it. That shell. Because much to Professor Dave, and this is running over, but the boy looks like he has potential. I remember discussing, probably with Simon Dan and Professor Dave, about how I grow weary of seeing black holes described as wells. Holes in the ground to fall into. Now, it's done as a convenience for our feeble minds, because I know mine is. It's 2 dimensions, but it's not. You see, we live in 3 physical dimensions. And I noticed after I brought that, these now it could have been coincidental. Professor Dave may have already been working on this piece. Mr. Transparency that I am. But not long after, I noticed a piece put up by Professor Dave, and he depicted the black hole in the way that it made me happy. For once, a mathematician had represented a black hole in the way it ought to be represented, not as a vortex to fall into. I'm not going to go any further on that vein. I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to close now again, because this is an important post. This isn't about God or me or touching myself, or this is about humanity for all of us. This is about saving all of our asses. Think toroid. Because that shell that is around that ball of hydrogen is a clue